I don't normally do these recordings when I'm feeling good for some reason. I'm usually conflicted, a bit down, struggling, trying to figure out what's going on, I guess. Some things have changed recently. I'm still working the 2 jobs that I was doing before, and I've got a pretty full schedule, but I feel like I've found, or I'm rather more in alignment with what I should be doing. And it works on me subconsciously, I think, more than anything. I don't notice too much going on in my head, maybe a little less internal dialogue or negative rumination than normal. It's just a bit more of a positive vibe, and things that would drain my energy don't necessarily. And that's really good. That's an important observation for me that I've had recently. I've had it many times before, don't get me wrong, where things are going well and I feel a little bit more in control and balanced, and my feet are planted on the ground rather than in the ground up to my knees kind of thing. Just doing what I should be doing seems to permeate through all aspects of my life. Makes day-to-day life a lot easier. All those things I have to do that I don't really have a choice about. Well, I do have a choice. I could stand here and record this after not having showered or after not cleaning up my home, after not talking with my family, after not reaching out to friends. Yeah, I could be just, for lack of a better phrase, operating like a piece of shit. But I'm not. That's the important thing, I suppose. But all those things I mentioned are, or can be, draining as well. I'm sure many people can relate. You know, you might have that phone call with a friend or a family member that doesn't hit the mark and takes away something from you. Or maybe you're talking to them and you're not really engaged and you're kind of rolling your eyes and waiting for it to end. And then there's times like today, and there's times like what's been happening with me recently where it's just steady going. Perhaps it won't last, perhaps it will. Nonetheless, I treat it the same. Just try not to think about it too much. Try not to be too analytical. Slow down and increase my pace at the right time. It's strange though, I'm not sure if you can relate to this, but when I find it a little bit hard to sleep, a little bit hard to get off to sleep, it feels like there's like a bit more of a fire in me than there normally would be, pushing me forward, and it makes it hard to switch off. But it's not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's just a reminder that I do need to wind down, and I can't be sprinting all the time. But it feels pretty good sometimes when, you know, you're multitasking and ticking the boxes, and pushing yourself and doing more than you normally would, but it's not a struggle. It's invigorating. It's invigorating. That's a good word for it. Oddly, though, there's so much more to say when you're down. And I've been thinking about this a little bit recently. Talking yourself into something again and again and again. Not that it's your choice. It just kind of happens. It's no one's fault. And I've perhaps said this before, and I do know this, that you have to be careful with what you tell yourself. And you do have some agency over that. Perhaps it gets out of hand, which it often does with me and many others, where you're really caught up on the bullshit. Did I say the right thing there? Was I rude? Why is that person acting weirdly around me? Being a bit too hypervigilant and not doing, and perhaps not doing what is intuitive or natural to you. Not being yourself. It's hard to be yourself. It's not an easy thing, because if you are being who you are and letting your personality be what it is and voicing your internal dialogue, there's repercussions. Some people might like it, some people might not. That's just the way it goes. You might find it a strange thing to talk about, though. Maybe it doesn't matter to you. Or maybe it matters so much that you don't do anything. Or you feel disabled in some respect. And that's when a lot of regret starts to pile up. I should have done that. I should have said this. And that erodes my confidence, definitely. At some point, I just need to be a little bit arrogant and forward and direct and just get on with the fucking show. You can't drag your heels all the time. And I think for a lot of others, it's very taxing to be around people that are doing that are not communicating how they should or how they feel or what's in alignment with their values. And we're all different. But it does piss me off, though, when people are being themselves, myself included, and our intentions don't seem to matter. Maybe we said something that wasn't correct, or maybe there was a better way to deal with the situation, and it backfires and it blows up in your face, and initially you can't quite understand what the fuck this person's on about that's pulling you up on just being yourself. And don't get me wrong, you still need to think about why that is. It's like you can just ignore it completely. But you do need to stick up for yourself. You can't just be this docile lapdog that everybody prods with a stick and expects them to act in a certain way. I guess, how is this, what I'm talking about, connected with feeling good? Well, maybe for me, feeling good is being myself, accumulating all the knowledge that I have and all the experiences that I have, and behaving in a certain way and doing certain things that are in alignment with my purpose and my values and my morals. and it's working, and the repercussions are few, or the negative repercussions are few. There's no one trying to hurt me because I hurt them unintentionally. And I think if you are on a quest, whatever that might be, maybe it's to get a better job, maybe it's to find a partner, maybe it's to do a personal project. You just care a little less about what others think. And perhaps it's because you know you can go back to that. And when you don't have that backup, that redundancy, that quest or that purpose to fall back on, you end up stuck in your head, thinking about why things aren't working out. There's nothing pulling you through life or driving you. The odd thing is, though, there's a definite power in not doing that. I don't know if it works too well for me or for most other people in Western society, but I do know there are people out there that find a tremendous amount of meaning in not having a purpose. Sadly, though, that's just not me. I'm not a yogi in the forest on top of a mountain in solitude, waiting for the answers and finding the answers often. I live in the 21st century within a Western culture, and modern society is pretty fucked up and debilitating for everyone, I think. No one gets out unscathed. We lose people, we gain people. There's a hustle and bustle that no one seems to be able to control. And it's a lot harder to not do anything for me when everything's happening around you. Yeah, there's those stupid studies and examples of, group mentality, I suppose. Where everybody will be sitting down and then suddenly everybody stands up and the one person that's not in on the joke stands up as well. Then they sit back down again and they repeat and do it again, and it really exposes the need for all of us to fit in somewhere. And I always think, oh no, I wouldn't stand up. I would just keep sitting down thinking, this is ridiculous. And I can think of many of my friends and family that would probably think the same thing. But nonetheless, it happens, and people want to fit in, and we want to do things and be admired and revered, and some of us even want to be famous. The fame thing's an interesting one, because the people that I respect that do acquire fame by indirect means, I suppose, that wasn't their initial outcome that they wanted. It wasn't the fame, it was the purpose that drove them into fame. Even the famous philosophers and things, it's quite bizarre. Well, the ones that peddle that you should be sitting back and waiting for the day to present you with opportunities to grow, but I'd just rather be, I don't know, fucking doing something. I've been walking home from work recently. Well, to and from work. I guess if I walk home, I've got to get there somehow. It's about like 6Ks. Takes me 45 minutes on a good day. And often I finish work at night at around 9 p.m. And I'll be walking home. And the other night I walked home in the rain. I came prepared. I had full wet weather gear, waterproof barefoot shoes, waterproof overalls, waterproof jacket, waterproof backpack. And I was just charging to the point where it was cold, but I was sweating. And there's just a weird symmetry. It's like that you acquire through movement. It feels good to be using both sides of your body. And there's a oneness about it, just the pushing one foot in front of the other, and it feels like I'm hiking. I kind of am. I'm walking on the nature strip. And I'm pushing myself forward, and I feel the ground beneath my feet. I feel the grass, and I feel the mud, and I feel the gravel. And I'll be listening to music normally, just fucking going for it, doing something, going somewhere. I need to get home. I'm not just jogging around the block. Like, I've got no other option. I could get picked up, I suppose, or order an Uber or something, but I'm on that quest. I'm out there in the world. I've done my job, and I'm going home, and I'm going to get myself there. I'm not relying on anything else. I guess that's a really good analogy for what I'm trying to say. With that goal in mind, it could take me an hour and a half to walk home. If I really wanted to, if I wanted to just go down the wrong street, not think about where I'm going, wait for the rain clouds to clear, take the easy way out and call my wife to pick me up. And you might be wondering what my purpose is. What is driving me? Why am I walking in the rain? It doesn't really matter, because it's mine and it's not going to mean anything to you. It can almost be anything. If it matters to you, it matters to you. It's a necessity, though, from where I'm sitting. Although not easily acquired or realized. You must find what it is. It hurts a lot figuring that out. And I resent people that say it's easy. Just quit your job, do what you want to do, follow your heart. What if your heart's telling you to just take the easy way out? Which is the case for a lot of people. And they do that. It's a reality. But boy, it's nice when you keep going and going and going and going and going. And you get a glimmer of something that makes it easier to get up the next day, that puts things in perspective, results in you worrying about less things because they're just a sideshow. Cheers.